Well, let's stay in the NFL. We've got Week 18, and we'll be go over all the playoff scenarios here. So, Atlanta, this is what they need to do to get in. They need to win and a Tampa Bay loss. Simple. Cowboys, they're already in. They clinch the division with a win or a tie and Philly tie or a Philly loss. The Packers winning in, but if they tie, Seattle has to lose or tie, and New Orleans, the Saints have to lose or tie, or they can tie, but Seattle loses, Tampa Bay loses, or another Green Bay tie, Seattle tie, Tampa Bay loss, or Minnesota loss or tie with a Seattle loss and Tampa Bay loss, or Vikings lose or tie, Seattle loss, New Orleans loss. Vikings can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a Green Bay loss and a Seattle loss and a Tampa Bay loss, or they win with a Green Bay loss and a Seattle loss and a Saints loss. Saints can clinch with a win and a Tampa Bay loss or tie, or with a Saints tie and a Tampa Bay loss. That's how they clinch the South. They can clinch a playoff berth though with a win and a Seattle loss or tie and a Green Bay loss or tie, or a Saints tie, the Saints tie with a Seattle loss or a Green Bay loss. Philly, pretty straightforward, win, Dallas loss or tie, or both Eagles and Cowboys tie. Seattle can win with a Green Bay loss or tie, or a tie with Seattle ties with a Green Bay loss or Tampa Bay loss, or tie, or Seattle can tie with a Green Bay loss and Saints loss or tie. The Bucks, they win and they are wearing hat and t-shirts, and or if they can tie and the Saints lose or tie, they'll still be wearing the t-shirts. They can clinch a playoff berth though with a tie, Seattle loss, and a Green Bay loss or tie. And then in the AFC, Buffalo, which is crazy that they are in the playoffs and they have the most at stake, I would say. They could win, they win the AFC East. But if they lose, they can clinch a playoff berth with a Buffalo tie, or a Pittsburgh loss or tie, or a Jacksonville loss or tie, or a Houston and Indy tie. Which I think if the AFC South, if there's a tie in their last 2 games, I wouldn't be shocked. The Texans can clinch the AFC South with a Houston with a win and a Jacksonville loss or tie, or they can clinch a playoff berth with a win and in, or they tie with a Jacksonville loss and a Pittsburgh loss or tie. The Colts can win. They need some help here. They need to win with a Jacksonville loss or tie, or a tie and a Jacksonville loss. They can clinch a playoff berth with a win, or a Indy tie and a Pittsburgh loss. Jacksonville, they clinch the South, the AFC South with a win, or a tie and a Indianapolis and Houston tie. Just for chaos reasons, I'm kind of rooting for that because I think that would be kind of funny. Or they can clinch a playoff berth with a Jacksonville tie or Pittsburgh loss or tie, or Pittsburgh loss plus a Denver loss or tie plus Houston Indy doesn't end in a tie. And the Dolphins, they're already in the playoffs, but they can win the division with a win or a tie. And the Steelers, the last one here, they can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a Buffalo loss, or a Jacksonville loss or tie, or a Houston and Indy tie, or a Jacksonville loss, Houston and Indy doesn't end in a tie, or a Jacksonville loss plus a Denver win plus a Houston and Indy doesn't end in tie. Did you guys get all that?
Oh, yep. My God.
Grant's brain is hurting.
Oh, my God. My brain is so fried right now.
You figured all that out. So you definitely read an article, but God forbid whoever figured that out.
Ian Rappaport tweeted it out, and I saved it in my phone too.
Jesus.
I did. That came right from the NFL.
I did not memorize that.
The NFL
I would
sent,
be I'd be very give them a pat on the back if they were able to memorize all that. But
the
Those
NFL
game,
And
the NFL sent Rappaport a memo.
yeah. But I'm gonna start my game of the week here. It's gonna be the Sunday night game, Bills versus Dolphins, and it is a battle of for AFC. The Bills are going for their 4th straight AFC East title. The Dolphins are in a tough spot, losing Bradley Chubb. I don't know who they're going to have even able to play. And I don't
Alex
know if
Van
most of it's going
Ginkel.
to be. Yeah, Alex Van Ginkel. But this game, I'm not sure what to think of Buffalo because outside of when they destroyed Dallas, they've come back to earth a little bit, and they struggled against the Chargers. They didn't play great against the Patriots last week. It's kind of resorted back to, where they've had the turnovers, they're inconsistent play calling, inconsistent on offense. It's a game of I'm not sure I can trust either team in the spot, and I think it's going to come down to the running game, and who wins the turnover battle, because both quarterbacks are prone to throwing the ball to the other team or fumbling the ball to the other team. But in the end, I trust Sean McDermott. I trust Josh Allen more than I trust Mike McDaniel and Tua. And I actually think the Bills win by 2 scores. I like the Bills winning 23-14.
I'm actually going to go to a game that has massive divisional implications as well. Colts and Texans. I won't go super into D2 who I think wins because that would kind of spoil or at least lead you on to.
Ethan, I don't mean to interrupt you on this one, but this will be CJ Stroud's first time he's ever played in Indianapolis. Let's give it up for him.
Whoa.
He finally made it to Indy.
Wow. That's cold. But yeah, no, super good game. Obviously, Jacksonville plays Tennessee. That's us. I just knew it was a blue team. Gonna be a tough game for sure down there. So whoever wins this could very easily win the division.
And 2 coaches who could be Coach of the Year candidates.
Dylan, who wins the division if they all tie? Would it be Jacksonville?
I think it'd be Jacksonville.
It's Jacksonville.
Right now. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
because Jacksonville's the 4 right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So you said if both teams tie, or if both games are ties,
all 3 tie.
That's in the scenario, boys. We got to trust the scenario prediction format here. It does say Jacksonville wins the South with a tie and a Houston Indy tie. It's such a sentence, isn't it?
That's just nuts.
What a sentence. But I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go a little off the radar. Not so much off the radar, but one team who's in the playoff hunt and one team who's eliminated. Packers-Bears.
That was my last game, actually.
Yeah, and for me, that's the game of the week because we all know the Packers win and they're in. Jordan Love looks like the guy. But this is a huge game for the Bears organization. Like, if the Bears and Justin Fields can go into Lambeau and put a good game together and somehow win and eliminate the Packers, boy, what does Chicago do with him? What do they do with that first pick?
You gotta go. You can't. You gotta stick with Fields at this point.
At that point, do you stick with? He's shown promise. Do you stick with Fields? Do you maybe trade that pick for a King's ransom and then take Marvin Harrison, and get him in DJ Moore?
Let's go with Sweat.
Or do you just get Dallas? Do you get Dallas Turner, and an offensive tackle with your first couple picks? I mean, this has huge implications for the Bears on there, especially if they do what the Lions did last year, where you go into Lambeau and you eliminate the Packers from the playoffs. And then if the Packers can win and get in, well, Matt LaFleur's job is saved, and Jordan Love is looking back like, hey, look at me, I'm the guy. You didn't waste a first-round pick on me. So huge implications for both of these organizations, not only for this year, but 2 to 3 years down the road. And Romo and Nance are on the call, and since we live in Minnesota, I'm thinking that's the 3:30 game, and I'm excited to watch that thing Sunday.
It will be good because last year Packers had a chance to make the playoffs with a win and in, but the Lions played spoiler. Is this something that the that the Bears can do. And the Bears have somewhat had a little bit of a
and
Lions did last year.
Eberflus could be coaching for his job, as well. So a lot of stake in Lambeau on Sunday.
Yeah. So boys, now what when the dust all settles at about 11 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Mountain Time on Sunday night, what do the playoff standings in the NFC and AFC look like for you guys? We can start from the well, you can go either way, from bottom to top or top to bottom.
Let's go top
whatever
to
you choose.
Top to bottom,
Okay.
I think, because most of these, there's a lot, like 3 of the top 5 in the AFC, for instance, are literally locked in.
They're locked in, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you guys got?
Well, of course, Baltimore's the 1.
I thought that was a good guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
But I'll
so
go here
2 to 7.
Okay. I guess I'll start.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
I have Buffalo at 2.
Yep. All right.
Am I going right down?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So Buffalo 2, Kansas City's locked in at the 3. Jacksonville at 4. I think they knew last week, even if they lost, they still had a shot. I think they gave Lawrence the week off. Ethan's point, that game is in Tennessee, but I think the Jags pull it out. Cleveland, they're locked in at the 5. Miami then, since they lose to Buffalo, is the 6. And you know what? God damn it, we talked about this team all year. The Houston Texans are the 7 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So mine's actually pretty similar to Grant's. I'm going 2 Bills. I think they beat the Dolphins. Obviously, the Chiefs 3. This is where it gets a little weird. I actually have a tie in the Colts-Houston game, but Jacksonville loses. So the Colts win the division. Colts win the division.
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
5, Miami 6, Houston gets in as the 7.
Okay.
That's delicious. I hope that happens. I hope I'm wrong.
As soon as you brought up the ties, I'm like, I had Jacksonville. I'm like, let's get weird.
I love it.
Weird. Let's go with Houston.
So, well, yep, I'm with you guys. It's a clean sweep, as I said. I think the Bills win by 2 scores. Bills 2, Chiefs are 3. I'm going with the Jaguars. I've been high on them all year. This is my hope of that the Jaguars are going to turn it on in the playoffs. I'm not feeling great about it. 5 is the hat that Ethan is wearing, the Cleveland Browns, elite Joe Flacco. And the 6 is the Dolphins. And 7 is, I think CJ is going to show out. I think in these type of games, I think you go with who the better quarterback is. I like CJ Stroud more than I like Gardner Minshew. So I'm going to go with the Texans sneaking in the 7th seed.
And hey, when CJ's back was against the wall against Utah and Georgia, he played the games of his life. And I'm with you, Dylan. I think that continues.
Correct. And let's go to the NFC here. And the 49ers are already locked in. 2 seed, I like the Cowboys. As much as I am nervous about this game, I'm going to go with, I still think the Cowboys find a way to win and beat the Commanders. They get the 2 seed. Lions are the 3 seed. I like Tampa to beat the lowly Panthers, even if Baker Mayfield is not playing. The best throw that we've seen all year is from David Tepper. Bucks get into the 4 seed. Eagles, 5 seed. The Rams are locked into the 6 seed. And in the 7, I said this team is going to sneak into the play, is a playoff team all year. I think the chips fall their way, and I like the Seahawks to sneak in as a 7 seed.
2 years in a row, they sneak in as the 7 seed.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I'm saying Dallas wins too. It's probably not going to be a pretty win out in Washington, but I think they get it done. Detroit gets the 3. I'm going with my preseason pick. I'm going with the Saints. I think they get it done. I think Tampa Bay loses. Obviously, Philly 5, Rams 6. And then I'm going with another team I picked preseason, the Packers. I'm pretty proud of that pick. I think I nailed that one. So hopefully it actually comes to fruition.
There you go. Yep. We'll make it a clean sweep. I like Dallas. To
So
get
it'll
to
be
2.
the Eagles.
Yep. The Lions at 3, like we said, that one's locked in. Again, I'm going to go with Tampa just because I think Todd Bowles is going to throw the kitchen sink at Bryce Young. I mean, he's going to see blitzes coming that he's never seen before.
Yeah.
This Tampa Bay defense will be the difference in that game. Eagles are locked in at the 5. Rams are locked in at the 6. And in my game of the week, I think Jordan Love wins, and the Packers get in as the 7 seed, and we set up a Dallas Packers playoff game. And I know Dylan is not ready for that.
Yeah.
You know what? I love it. Embrace it. Embrace the challenge. You got to exercise the demons here. You got to.
History repeats
gotta
itself.
go.
Just remember that.
It can, but sometimes history is meant to die and be forgotten.
Instead, though.
Mm-hmm.
So